My name is Matthias Brunner, and I'm here because first I love Palermo. I've been here already on other festival occasion, Sole Luna, for human rights film festival. And I like that so much that I fell in love with the city. And when you asked me to come again for your festival, I said, of course, with great, great pleasure. I'm very thankful for your invitation. Oh, Douglas Sirk became really almost like a father figure to me. I come myself from quite a dysfunctional family, very typical 50s family in Switzerland. I was not the only one who brought up like that. So I escaped the family situation. We were 5 kids and always hysterical mother, full of violence, and the father, which had more the business military in his head. So I escaped to the movies into great books. And because the Swiss film critics really bashed Douglas Sirk very badly, I thought, oh, I don't have to see his films. So although I knew really all the great other directors inside out, I started only when I was about 24 years old to discover the importance of Douglas Sirk's films on my life. And I'm extremely thankful and grateful to Godard, Truffaut, Fassbinder, who wrote these tremendous essays about Sirk. And thanks to them, I discovered Sirk. And then we did this retrospective in Locarno in '75. And there I've seen all the films by him. And met him as well on the Piazza Grande with his wife, and we liked each other immediately. He was full of questions, bombarded me with questions, so I forgot about my questions to ask him, but he was pleased about that because he didn't like to talk about his own films. He always wanted to know more about the younger generation and what they did and what he should see and what he should not see. It would be so unfair to mention one title, but for sure it will be All That Heaven Allows, as it's for most Sirkian. But for Douglas Sirk himself, it was strangely enough his late black and white film, The Tarnished Angels, which I adore as well, tremendously, just as well for the, how you call them, the fake, the fake screen. I love Tarnished Angels tremendously, but as well Written on the Wind, which I've seen last night about for the 9th time on the big screen, not just on from television or so. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. Really, very strong performance, a great story, and very violent as well. Daniel Schmid was a very close friend of mine. I even co-produced his very first longer film, Tonight or Never, Heute Nacht oder Nie. And he was taken at the same time by the films of Sirk as I was. He discovered it as well quite late. Then we went to see Sirk very often in Lugano. He came often to Zurich. We organized dinners for him, invited the most interesting filmmakers or writers or producers in the house of my friend Thomas Amann or in my place. And we had Daniel was most of the time with us as well then. And we had very strong memories together. John Waters is the total opposite of Douglas Sirk. John Waters did these really very, very naughty, dirty underground movies, which had practically no style. It was not something he was interested in. Waters at that time, he wanted to shock, he wanted to produce satire, and but he was completely fascinated by Sirk, loved his movies dearly, and even quoted them in some of his own films. And now, Waters, he wrote as well about Sirk in his books. You can find articles on Sirk. He loved Dorothy Malone. He loved Lana Turner. He even has still a great friendship with Lana Turner's daughter. She's part of his family. I did two kind of works. On one hand, for the film podium, which was kind of like a dépendance of the Swiss Cinematheque in Zurigo. I programmed there Zurich art house of the film podium, which was financed by the Zurich. So I had full power there who I wanted to give homages to. That was one thing. And then the other part was that I had managed this art house cinemas called Commercio Art House Movie AG. There were 10 cinemas together, and I programmed them with all the new world cinemas, world films which I found at different festivals from Berlin, Cannes, Venice, New York Film Festival, LA Film Festival, and so on, Locarno, etc. Yeah, not just for me, because to me, of course, because he was my partner and loved him dearly, and he loved me. We had a wonderful 20-year longing relationship till he finally died on AIDS, which was total disaster because he was not the only one who died on AIDS who I knew. It's actually from all his friends from that time, it's almost only John Waters and Edmund White who survived, but for Thomas, the triple thing, the triple treatment came too late, and he died in a terrible way. It was ever so sad, and he was really at that time the most famous, most cherished art dealer in the world. He was very close to Andy Warhol and the whole circle. He went in and out at the White House, met Ronald Reagan, shook his hands, and so on. Although he didn't share his politics.